The foundation condemns the violent sentence meted out to President Zuma. It condemns the fact that President Zuma has been jailed without a fair trial. It condemns the fact that as we sit here now, even the recusal application has not been pronounced. It condemns the fact that DCJ Zondo decided not to use remedies applicable to him in the commission and then running to the Constitutional Court. It condemns the fact that the Constitutional Court allowed itself to be used as a court of first instance, and as a result of that, denied President Zuma his rights of appeal. What we see happening on the ground is a righteous anger to all these injustices, is a righteous anger to what is happening to a 79-year-old man. As we sit here and now, President Zuma, a 79-year-old pensioner, is sitting in a cold cell, is sitting there, his health is being negatively affected by this, both physically and psychologically. And this is what is the important thing for the people of South Africa. That righteous anger you see there is an anger that is saying President Zuma does not deserve what has been given to him. President Zuma deserves to be given equal rights like everyone else. What is happening now, people keep talking about equality before the law. President Zuma is not being given equality before the law. He's given something else.
So as the foundation, you're okay with truck drivers who have nothing to do with anything that's happening, whether legally or politically, to have their employment put at risk and their lives put at risk while trying to get their way through from in between our provinces?
The foundation is very resolute in fighting for the rights of President Zuma. The foundation is very resolute in saying let's solve the problem contextually. Let's not have selective morality. The foundation is very clear that the biggest outrage should be to the Concord for unleashing this on us. The Concord acted inconsistent with the law, said the judges. The Concord acted in a manner that is unlawful, said the other judges. The Concord has meted a punitive committal when there was an option of a coercive committal. The judges said this. So indeed, what we have here is a result of what the Concord has done. And you are saying on Monday, the Concord has got a chance to rescind this judgment.
Manyi, I'm so sorry to come in. We've heard from the time that the Concord made their judgment last week, Tuesday, that the foundation is condemning what happened in the Constitutional Court. We've heard already that the foundation is condemning the decision taken by the High Court this week as well. I want to move on from that because you're not answering my question. There are people's lives who are put at risk as people protest in KZN to ask for the former president to be released from prison. We hear your argument about him being 79 years old. We hear your argument about the law not being fair. But there are people's lives that are being risked as the protesters continue with the protests in KZN. And I'm not hearing you as the foundation spokesperson and as a person in your standing in society condemning violence happening in KZN.
We condemn the violent provocation of the people. We are saying what is happening there could be stopped overnight by a simple decision by the Constitutional Court. So what is happening there is a reaction. And the action to stoke this reaction and the action to keep these fires burning the pressure is kept on. So you are asking the wrong person. Call the Concord and say, are you happy with what you see on the ground? Because what is happening on the ground is as a result of what the Concord has done. People are not accepting injustice. This is what is happening.
Mr. Manyi, the foundation released a statement on the third day that the police were supposed to secure the arrest of the former president. And the foundation itself said the former president decided that he would go and abide by what the law said. So today it doesn't sound like you are still sticking to that was said in your statement. It sounds like you're not in support of at least making sure that people's lives are safe.
President Zuma is a peaceful man. Worse could have happened if President Zuma did not decide to hand himself in. Would have had more than a massacre, more than a Marikana massacre. So President Zuma saved lives. by going to to jail without a trial. He was trying to save life. He was trying to make sure that there's calmness. But then that has not been reciprocated. You then have the Pietermaritzburg court that comes up with all kinds of decisions that defy rationality. You then have the commission of the State Capture Commission that has already written and trying to oppose the recession of the judgment. So indeed, we are faced with hostility from the Concord. We are faced with hostility from the State Capture Commission chairperson. So what do you expect? So with these kinds of hostilities that are coming from authorities, people are responding to those hostilities. If you want this to stop, cease hostilities from Concord, cease hostilities from the State Capture Commission, then you will see calmness in this country.
So we're hearing from the president's daughter, for instance, Duduzile, who's gone on social media. A lot of people responding to her tweet saying that she's inciting violence. And now we're hearing from the foundation that the people in KZN are provoked. And they are attacking, for instance, Mr. Manyi, truck drivers who have nothing to do with this fight. But let's move on from that, because I realize that you're not really going to, answer my question in terms of that. But in terms of the acting Chief Justice at the moment being the Deputy Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, do you feel that Monday's hearing and the judgment that will come after that will be compromised because of him?
Without a doubt. We can't have a planned referendum. This is the same situation that we've been arguing. I mean, can you imagine a very funny situation here that the chairperson of the commission, the administration that is leading in the State Capture Commission, has written to the administration that is leading in the Concord to say the decision of the Concord must not be favorable to President Zuma. The very same person. I mean, can you believe this? I mean, it's the biggest anomaly that you can ever find. That you've got a man that has got their positions everywhere. At one point, he is the chairperson of the commission. At another point, he is a witness. He is actually a complainant, because he also has his own affidavit to articulate his own version of what President Zuma is saying about their friendship. So the man is a complainant on the one side. On the other side, he's a judge in the case about President Zuma. On the other side, he again is a chairperson of the Concord that must hear this matter. And on the other side, again, he's a chairperson of the commission that is writing to the Concord to say, don't rescind this judgment. It's a very conflict-ridden situation. And if we see DCJ Zondo or Acting Chief Justice Zondo in that Concord for this case, then we will know that there is no justice to be expected.
But we know that the Constitutional Court comprises of a number of justices, and not only the Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, but also the former president's application to the High Court for that stay application. He said himself that he received the wrong advice legally. He had the chance, for instance, to go plead his case in the Constitutional Court before this judgment was made, and he says that he was advised, he was ill-advised by his lawyers. So why now are we still harboring on this argument that the courts are against the former president?
By the way, that is the reading of the media. There was nothing like that, President Zuma having said that. You must give me the paragraph where he says that in his papers. This is another similar thing that the media did with the Squire's judgment. The media came out and said there was a corrupt relationship between President Zuma and Shadurshe.
But he didn't plead his case in court at the end of the day, Mr. Manyi.
Just while the judge had to come out to correct that situation. Again, you guys are repeating it here. There was no such a thing that you're talking about.
But at the end of the day, he did have his chance. If you can disagree with that, but he did have his chance in the Constitutional Court to be able to file.
I think what you must appreciate is that whether he had a chance or not, the fact that how you respond to that as the authority must be lawful. You can't be emotional and say because of this and therefore we're going to do this to you. No. Law must be rational. Law must not be emotional. Law must not be angry. Law must be rational. What should have happened is that if he didn't do what they thought he should do, they should have simply referred the matter to a lower court so that criminal prosecution can happen. In that case, he would have had a fair trial, and if that fair trial had found adversely against him, he would have had his chance in a fair trial. It must be very clear to South Africans that the Constitutional Court is not a replacement of a trial court. The rights that accrue to accused people in a trial court are not the same as an appellant in the Constitutional Court that has got just affidavits and things like that in that kind of a hearing. It's not the same thing. When we talk about a fair trial, we talk about a trial in a trial court where there can be cross-examination. What we have now, we've got judges of the Constitutional Court based on some submissions without interrogating any of that thing with the person that is being lambasted with all these allegations, not given a chance to defend himself, and not a chance to cross-examine the people that are asking him these things, are accusing him of these things, and him not being cross-examined as well. That is not the justice that these people in this country fought for. Trial court should have been the best place to deal with this matter, not the Concord.
Mr. Manyi, before I let you go, because I'm running out of time, I just want to go back to this point so that you don't say that as the media we are incorrectly, quoting you. So are you saying that the foundation is in support of the protests that are happening in KZN because those protesters were provoked by our legal system in South Africa?
The correct quotation is to say, the foundation is saying the righteous anger of the people in KZN and everywhere is as a result of an unjust system, is as a result of the Concord decision, which is not consistent with the Constitution. It is a result of a vicious sentence given to a 79-year-old man without giving him a right to a fair trial. This is what is happening in KZN, and the foundation is saying, let's not have selective morality. Let's start to where it starts. Let's start to the people that have provoked this. Let's start with the people that have instigated this and deal with that. And if we deal with that, there will be calm in the country.